You are Locked On Celtics Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And here we go, off and running and ready to have a little fun on a Friday night with you on the latest Locked On Celtics Postcast and talking about a win for the Celtics at home against the Milwaukee Bucks. Jrue Holiday back, no KP, Tatum, Brown early on, Tatum late, Horford a big three, Holiday a runner. Celtics just taking care of business against the Milwaukee Bucks. The worst shot of the game, that's coming up. The best shot of the game, that's also coming up as well. We do welcome you into our latest Locked On Celtics Postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime college play-by-play announcer on the hoops side, former national show host with ESPN and satellite radio. Watch Celtics games as a kid on a black and white TV. You are right where you need to be. You are locked on with the latest Locked On Celtics Postcast, providing reaction every Celtics game on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Celtics podcast feed, which is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. With our latest Locked On Celtics Postcast, we're going to talk about a brutal second quarter from behind the three-point line for the Celtics. Giannis, talk about threes. What in the world was Giannis doing late in the game, hoisting up a three? His first of the game, I think Mike Breen said on ESPN, his 15th on the season. Celtics capitalize at the other end. We're going to get into that as well. As always, we do want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation watching live on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Simple. Hit the comment button and join the conversation. Give us your one random thought of the game. Celtics pick up the victory, extend their win streak to 7 in a row at TD Garden, and Jrue Holiday back in the lineup. He makes such a difference on a team that is now 19 wins on the season, by the way. Hey, log on. Keep with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Also follow us on X. Hit us up there as well. Questions, comments, or concerns at Lennox on Hoops. Our latest Locked On Celtics postcast brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and with that winner on a $5 bet, your first one, you can get started with $150 in bonus bets. Again, you do have to win that first $5 bet for that $150 in bonus bets. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. We're in December 6th, and the Bucks and Celtics don't meet again in the regular season. That's my random thought for segment number 2, but are you kidding me? Celtics pick up the victory, 3-0 in the regular season against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I watch and I put my notes together in one room. I come to my spot to do the Locked On Celtics postcast in another room. So it's a little bit of a scramble because I do want to get on immediately following the game. But as I was getting ready upstairs to come downstairs in my home, I hear Michael Wilbon on ESPN on the postgame. Brian Windhorst was there as well. Somebody else was there. Okay. Wilbon says, you know what? Chris Middleton's back for the Bucks. There's no such thing as, a victory that, there's no moral wins. But I thought the Bucks played well. Are you kidding me? They did play well. It was a great game for a Friday night. But Milwaukee, okay, they played well. Milwaukee should have come out of that game with a win. They didn't. Celtics, again, showing they're the better team. I love the Celtics that were challenged on a Friday night. Trailed at the half, trailed after the first quarter. Are you kidding me with that comment? Well, there's no moral victories, but I thought they played their best game of the season. Then they should have won what you consider playing their best game of the season. Giannis late in the game. Usually I go through the first couple of quarters, and the Celtics were up after the first quarter. They were up by as many as 8. That was the largest lead of the game for either team, and it came in the first quarter for the Celtics. Never trailed in the first quarter. But the Celtics were down 4 at the half and down 4 again after the third quarter. And the Celtics down after the third quarter for the first time in a long time. First time in 13 games. That's part of numbers of the night. Yeah, I'm giving it early. But in the fourth quarter, Tatum knocks down a 3, 1-point game. Bucks up 182-81. Tatum a 3 and a foul, hit the free throw, up 85-82. Bucks had 5 straight points. Hauser knocked down a 3 and a 3-point lead at that point in the fourth. But Giannis takes a 3-point attempt right around a minute to go. Horford goes to the other end, hits a shot. Middleton gets fouled on a three, hits the free throws. Then Jrue Holiday, shot clock winding down. The Celtics Friday night showed they're capable of hitting shots inside the three-point line. Holiday, kind of a runner, a floater, beat the shot clock. That was kind of the ball game right there. Derek White then had a steal, thought he was going to run it out. Basket, Celtics win. And the Celtics were the first to 100. Hey, the first team to 100 wins the game, right? But Giannis taking that three, I'm still on the Wilbon comment. I'm glad I got it out of the way, and hopefully I get it out of my brain right now. But Giannis taking that three, just sometimes on the court does crazy things, right? Might be, again, Lillard had a dunk, put him up one. Goaltend for Tatum. He had the basket. Celtics up one, then Giannis misses on a three. Horford's three put him up four, pardon me. And then under 30 seconds to go, Holiday with the floater, 107-105. No, the lead was different there. I apologize. But Middleton hitting the free throws and Holiday, a couple of free throws. Steal by White, ball game over. Celtics 0 for 12 from behind the three-point line in the second quarter. You lost a golden opportunity. This is more for me on the Bucks than it is on the Celtics. But the Celtics, you don't get any worse than 0 for, and they were 0 for 12. Doris Burke had it on the broadcast. They were 0 for 14. They missed their first 2-3 attempts in the third quarter. And at one point, 0 for 14 and 5 for 25. That's not the Celtics. They still managed to knock down 17 threes in the game. And they earned the victory. They continue to win at home. And the Bucks, to me, you've now lost 2 in a row. You were playing winning basketball. And earlier in the week, and I don't like doing this, it was a flippant comment by a broadcaster. It might have been ESPN. I didn't write it down. I didn't remember it. But it might have been on NBA radio, Sirius XM NBA radio. It wasn't Scalabrini. But they basically said, yeah, but look who they've beat during that win streak. And I looked at them like, yeah, okay, you've got a point. But you lose the other night, ending that win streak, and then you lose on the road to the Celtics. You lose all 3 regular season games to the Celtics, 2 in Boston. Friday night should have been your game. Damien Lillard, hey, I like watching the opposing team's best player. He had a nice night. I'm looking forward to Saturday and John Morant coming to town with the Memphis Grizzlies. Hopefully he's in the lineup. We want to see the best, right? But this, to me, on a Friday night, more about the Bucks than the Celtics. But it's about the Celtics because they show Milwaukee again. You got a long way to go. Chris Middleton, to me, hey, played effectively. Played a lot of minutes, and he was certainly in there down the stretch. With us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, hit us up in the comments section. Join the chat. Shouldn't be just me. Noel or Noel? Noel, I believe. Noel Bautista checking in. Thanks, Noel. I do appreciate it. Sometimes I'm reluctant to read these, but I'll do it. I believe you're a first-timer. Welcome aboard. Your postcast is a Celtics luck charm. No, but thank you. More power to you. Super sharp analysis. Hey, I enjoy doing this. I really do. There's a time during each day, getting ready for a Celtics game that night or within hours of the game, where I just really start thinking about it. And tonight I grew up. I've hit 50. I grew up when all of a sudden basketball is exploding in the 1980s, and all of a sudden games are on Friday night on TBS. That was must-see TV for me growing up. That was on a color TV, by the way. And I'm not being snarky and I'm not being flippant, but I did watch Celtics games as a kid on a black and white TV. Truth, it's usually when I was grounded and in my own room. My mother had put in a ticket to win a black and white TV at our school, getting rid of old equipment and stuff. I said, you know what? I'm grounded. I'm in my basement bedroom. I'll go get that TV. That's mine. She couldn't do anything about it. It's one of those moments. Got it over my mother. And I could watch Celtics games when they were on the Hartford channel, where I grew up on the eastern end of Long Island in New York. And once in a while, the Celtics would be on that channel in Connecticut. I would take the Hartford station. Same with the Red Sox. Noel, thank you. Appreciate it. Mike Driscoll, great way to start the weekend. If the Bucks couldn't win when the Celtics shot 32% from threes, Celtics lose the points in the paint battle and had less rebounds. How do they expect to win in this 7-game series? And Mike, absolutely great point, and it's really a reminder for me as well, because Windhorse, when Wilbon made the comment, hey, the Bucks played their best game of the season. Whoop-de-doo. It ends with an L. It ends with a loss in Boston. And I think it was Windhorse who said, they play that way. They're not winning the 7-game series against the Celtics. Again, that was kind of dumb luck or just, hey, I'm putting final thoughts together. I was listening while I was typing and putting my notes together. And Wilbon said that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me there. You got to absolutely be kidding me. 111-105, the final. Celtics win at TD Garden, 7 straight wins at home. Bucks' biggest lead in the game 6. Celtics' biggest lead in the game 8. That was in the first quarter. Just looking at a couple of guys here. Lillard finished with 30. Or no, I'm sorry, Giannis finished with 30. Lillard finished with 31. So they had 61 of the 105 points. And the Celtics, hey, White ends up with a steal late. He's always going to give you something positive. You did not hear Peyton Pritchard's name an awful lot. He played almost 25 minutes. And Pritchard did not score. That doesn't happen often. You saw what the Bucks were doing, and they were effective doing it. They weren't going to – remember Doc Rivers' reaction. I think it was the last game. Pritchard had a big 3, and Doc Rivers slumped over, put his hands on his knees like, are you kidding me? They were challenged with Peyton Pritchard. Don't let Pritchard come off the bench and beat you. Well, then, you know what? There's another guy who comes off the bench who's a sniper from long range. Sam Hauser. 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 8 on threes, and Hauser ended up with 16. Tatum leading scorer with 34. Jaylen Brown, 25. Jrue Holiday, 7 of 14, 4 threes for Holiday, 20 points total. And Holiday, I give you this line as well, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Let's look at the assist total because I love the assist total. And I always want to be ahead of Mike on the assists. 27 assists, 40 made field goals, 46% overall. But look at the numbers on the assists. Tatum, 5. Brown, 3. Horford, your big man, 3. Derek White, 7. Jrue Holiday, 6. That's your starting 5. That was your opening night starting 5 when they raised the banner back in October at TD Garden against the New York Knicks. 3 or more assists for each of your starting 5. Love it. Absolutely 100% love it. And they started doing that in the first quarter as well. Again, keep the comments coming. Part of the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel with us. Thank you very much for spending part of your Friday night with us as we talk about a Celtics win against the Milwaukee Bucks. I've got something coming in segment number 2. And you know what? We're going to do random thoughts. Mike Driscoll has a random thought for us going around the NBA a little bit. But I've also got something else coming up in segment number 2. Do I do it nightly in segment number 2? I don't know, but I have a good one Friday night. It involves Sam Hauser. It involves Mike Breen. We discuss that coming up next. Appreciate you being with us. Celtics win it, down by 4 after the first 2 quarters, down by 4 going to the fourth, win by 6 against the Milwaukee Bucks. Locked On Celtics postcast, Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day. NBA Random Thoughts coming up in just a moment. We are sponsored by Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.25% and APY with a 4.25 APY, or uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of the high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for just $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Terms to apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC. So I got something new coming up for you in segment number 2 for the first time this year. And maybe a true confession in there as well. I've already given you one for the night. Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Glad you're with us. Want to acknowledge our everydayers for making the Locked On Celtics with John Corrales and the Locked On Celtics postcast their first listen every day. We'll do it again Saturday night as the Celtics will welcome in the Memphis Grizzlies. And how about this stretch? It started last Friday. Celtics played Friday, Celtics played Sunday, Celtics played Monday with a back-to-back. Celtics played Wednesday, Celtics winning tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. 3 straight wins overall. Avoided a second straight loss in there as well. Still haven't lost 2 in a row at any time this season, 4 losses total. And now Memphis coming to town on Saturday. Celtics have not lost the back end of a back-to-back so far this season. Again, keep the comments coming as we continue on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Cleveland checking in. Keep up the great work, Steve. Appreciate that. Al Horford was the savior in the clutch. LOL. Yeah. And I mean, you look at that Horford 3, right? But you have to go back to the other end of the floor. On the Bucks' previous possession, Giannis putting up the 3 and missing. Hero ball? Yeah, pretty much. No Kristaps Porzingis. Didn't mention that in the first segment. Horford in the starting lineup. Celtics, it's been a while since they've gone with this lineup. KP coming back. This is the lineup that opened up the season. Holiday, White, Brown, Tatum, Horford. I think it's been 6 or 7 games since we've even seen this lineup. KP, is he back in there? Great to see Jrue Holiday back in the lineup as well. Giannis, Lillard lead the way. Where are the rest of the players? Where are the rest of the scorers going to be? It's almost like the Celtics said, you know what? We'll let them get theirs, and we'll find a way. And they did. I'm going to see if this sticks. I throw a lot of things to the wall. Some things stick. Some things don't. Mike Breen's one of my favorites. Mike Breen started helping me out as a young play-by-play announcer years ago when I was still in college. Recent years, we've been able to reconnect a little bit. He's phenomenal. He's a Hall of Famer. He's the absolute best. As good a broadcaster, and he's the best, as good as Mike Breen is, he's a better person. So there's a true confession for you. Broadcaster observation of the night. Now, most nights we get Drew Carter and Brian Scalabrine. So I do my NBC Sports Boston reference. I do at least 1 or 2. Did it during the Red Sox season with the Locked On Red Sox postcast. But the broadcaster observation of the night, because this opened up my ears a little bit. Mike Breen saying, as Hauser was in the game, Hauser is a very good defensive player. Teams, when he's on the floor, often target him, and they regret it. As he's finishing his thought on Hauser, Hauser goes to the other end, put the ball on the floor, got within, 10, 15 feet, probably closer to 10 feet, off glass and in. Broadcaster observation of the night. Probably a lot of times it's going to be Drew Carter, Brian Scalabrine. On the radio side, Grandy and Max. Sean Grandy and Cedric Maxwell. Cornbread. Kind of opened my eyes a little bit. I mean, Hauser did. There were back-to-back possessions on the defensive end. He did a nice job. We know when Hauser comes off the bench, teams are going to identify him. And like Mike Breen said, they're going to go after him. But as Mike Breen finished his thought, oftentimes when they go at Hauser, teams are going to regret it. I'm on the fence on the comment, but that's our broadcaster observation of the night from the great Mike Breen. Smiley Jogger. Hauser, in addition to Pritchard, appears to be one of the most improved Celtics. He's improved defensively, there you go, and great quickness with his hands and rebounds, among making other good things happen. Smiley Jogger, appreciate it. And that, to my point of what Mike Breen was saying about Sam Hauser. But yeah, they're getting those contributions from those guys off the bench. Pritchard doesn't score. So numbers of the night will go to see Pritchard with his scoring. Remember, last game, 19. Prior to that, 4 straight games of 20 or more. First time in his career he's done that. That was at the top of the chart. That's what happens in hoops. Covered college basketball for a long time. Games this weekend for Quinnipiac University. Bobcats men's team. Victorious on the road at Ryder in New Jersey Friday night. Kudos to them. Hey, I'm 2 for 2 on the night. But as you advance up the scout for the opposing team, and Pritchard is up on the scout now. Don't know what each team says about Pritchard, but basically, and Pritchard, hey, don't let him get threes off. Pritchard's not a stand on the three-point line guy and wait. He can get his own shot off on the three-point line. He can get the shot off and make threes with a hand in his face. He's also showing the ability lately. He now is making that transition. He's adjusting to how they're defending him. He's putting the ball on the floor. He'll pull up from 15. He'll get inside every once in a while. Still looking to score or distribute. But the Bucks, go back to the last game. Pritchard knocked down some threes. Doc Rivers challenged his team. They shut down Pritchard. Hauser was big off the bench. Shut down the Celtics in the second quarter from the three-point line. They still knocked down 17 for the game. So they had 10. Math is simple. I believe they had 7 in the first quarter, 0 for 12, 0 for 12 in the second, 10 in the second half. You really haven't. I've seen only a couple teams. We saw the Cavaliers, the Hornets in the back-to-back games in Charlotte earlier in the season. You got to be willing to go 3 for you against the Celtics. You know what? We're going to have to take 10 to 15 more threes than we usually average, and we've got to knock down 50% of them. Otherwise, the Celtics use that weapon to their advantage almost every single game. Bloody. Best thing tonight was Jrue awakening. He'd slumped a little bit there. But overall, early on in the season, look, when KP came back, now he's down. He's not going to get as many shots. But he's still going to beat you in a lot of different ways. He defends. And tonight, he had some points. We can't always judge it just on the points, but Holiday gives you a lot of those things we don't see in the box score. There's your quote-unquote cliche of the night, right? But Jrue did a terrific job. Bloody, one more. People usually make the mistake of targeting. I'm glad I did that broadcaster observation. That's getting some reaction. Mike Breen, Bloody saying, people usually make the mistake of targeting Hauser on defense. And that will become more and more available as well. Bloody, you're checking in. Appreciate that. Another first-timer, I believe. Welcome into the conversation. Keep it coming. We're going to get into the numbers of the night. We're going to get into a little Peyton Pritchard. Let's get into a couple of random thoughts. Mike had one, and I want to get back up to that here. Random thought. They mentioned it on the broadcast. For Brown, his field goal percentage, lowest of his career so far at 43%. Are we concerned about him finding his shot? We keep winning, but just a thought. Mike, I don't agree with you, but averages, career averages, at 43% right now, and this team is playing. He's, again, you go Jaylen Brown, number 2 on your team. He's a superstar, right? Okay, not shooting at a high percentage. Has dealt with a couple of injuries. During that time where he gutted it out and continued in the lineup, I think it affected his shot. I think if you can go back, we'll go into the numbers tonight. I'll get his game by game up there as well. But Mike, I appreciate that. Sometime averages. Mike, let's check in on that one. I'll write it in my notes. Let's check in on that one mid-January, maybe even early February. Let's see where his shooting percentage is at. Because he's a veteran enough right now for me that he'll get to his averages. He'll get to his career averages. And to do that, he's going to have games where he's 8 of 10, 9 of 11. Missed just 2 or 3 shots, so that percentage can go up there. But, Mike, I think you'll agree with me. We're not nitpicking here. I don't know that it's a major concern. He gets his shots up even when he missed that spread of games. Joe Mazzulla was saying, hey, he's doing the things he needs to do to get back. And as much as we have injury reports and questionable and available and out and all those different things, going for present day and going forward, we're never going to know the severity of injuries that lists a guy as questionable with whatever it might be. A lot of times we're surprised with exactly the extent of the injury. Haven't heard Joe Mazzulla about anyone this year. And he said it the other day with Jayson Tatum when he missed his first game of the season, a win, by the way, for the Celtics. Hey, it looks like it's probably just going to be the one game. Appreciate that honesty. We have not heard Joe Mazzulla at any point so far this season say it looks like that guy, player A, B, or C, fill in the blank, is going to be out for an extended period of time. I'm just going through, and they've had guys miss some games. Load management, injury, what they had with KP again tonight. Went far down the road with that one, Mike. But again, Career averages, let's check in on Jaylen Brown and where he's at shooting percentage-wise later on in the season, mid-January, maybe even early February as well. I'm going to have to do push-ups because they reprimand me at Locked On every time I go a little long, and I'm going a little long. But it's Friday night, and we've got great back and forth here with our viewers on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. We do numbers of the night, and I'm going to look ahead as well in segment number 3, and I'm going to look down the road. Because right now the Celtics are involved in a long stretch of home games. After tomorrow night, just 2 games, I think, in an 11-day stretch. But come January, they've got some bears on the schedule in terms of road trips. We'll get into that next. Steve Lennox with you, Locked On Celtics postcast. Celtics complete the series sweep against the Milwaukee Bucks. Michael Wilbon of ESPN saying on the postgame, Bucks played their best game of the season. The result, a loss. Glad you're with us. Friday night, Locked On Celtics postcast. Celtics again victorious in Milwaukee. We are presented by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more on the same page where you're going to place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, numbers of the night. We're going to get into a couple here in just a moment. Smiley Jogger, one more time. Who's the biggest threat in the East to the Celtics right now? It looks like nobody. Smiley Jogger, it's like you were with me on my thought process during just kind of looking ahead. I was in the car today thinking about tonight's game, and then I was listening to SiriusXM NBA channel, and they're talking about Western Conference teams. Right now, biggest, and this is where I'll get into in a few moments, they've got a couple of West Coast swings coming up, not until the new year, not until the calendar turns to 2025. Biggest challenge for me right now is the NBA Finals, the Celtics getting there, and looking at the teams in the West. Because the West is better right now, 1 through 8. I've made mention of it before in Random Thoughts on a couple of occasions where, the East right now the East updated right now, 5 teams above 500. Milwaukee with a loss last Friday night against the Celtics, 500, 11-11. Right now, they're in the number 6 spot. Western Conference. Top 10 teams are all at least a game over 500. OKC, I said it early on in the season. They've got a window, but the window just opened. OKC 25-26 season, healthy, look out. But I think if it's OKC and the Celtics in the NBA Finals come June, veterans, experience wins out if it's the Thunder. Houston, very similar. Got my eyes on the Rockets right now. They're number 2 in the West. The Mavericks, I would sign up for a rematch. I really would. Because the storylines are all over the place if it's the Celtics and Mavericks come next spring, right? Then you've got the Grizzlies. Not sold on them yet. They've got to do an awful lot. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Grizzlies. That was part of my Random Thoughts. I got distracted. Mike, I'm putting that one on you because you had a great random thought. Memphis, I'm looking at the top 4 right now. Golden State, Steve Kerr, I don't think believes that his team is, right now, he's trying to challenge them a little bit more. But they're 5 over 500. Clippers, no way. Suns, Kevin Durant's got to be 100% healthy. And I just don't see the Suns doing that as well. I don't really want to go any further. The Nuggets, no. Minnesota, dangerous, but in the 7-game series, no. You'll see their warts. The Lakers, come on. So, in the East, no. It's, Cleveland in a 7-game series, home court advantage, important. Celtics right now a game back. 1 in the loss column. That's it. And do I think that the Cavaliers, are 40-6 through 46 games. Right now, 20-3. Celtics right behind at 19-4. Last year, I've mentioned this a few times. Celtics last year ended up, I think, at 20-5 through their first 25 games. Because they and I have it maybe here and I can try to find it, but went on a win streak when they got to 20 games, and they were, they went on a 5-game win streak in that time. I think I have it here. Yeah. 15-5 through their first 20 last year, then a 5-game win streak to get to 25. And they can do that again. They've now won 3 in a row. They win the next 2. I don't want to say you're completely mimicking last season, but you could possibly be doing it with the record. And so in the Eastern Conference right now, no. Milwaukee had a chance. Even if the Bucks had won Friday night, I just a 7-game series. Not that they would implode, but Giannis would take a bad shot in a bad situation. Because it still has been part of him. Yes, NBA championship now on the resume. But he would do something. Smiley Jogger, appreciate that. Went way down the road on that one. Numbers of the night, want to get into Peyton Pritchard. So Pritchard, again, just looking at his line, it doesn't happen often. 24 minutes plus, 0 for 3 overall, 0 for 2 on the three-point line. Had 3 rebounds, had another offensive rebound, had a couple of assists off the bench, and was a -4, but did not score. So let's see Pritchard here. Let's get to his game-by-game real quick. Pritchard had 3 points in the season opening victory against the Knicks, then exploded. Knicks 4, 15, 19, 28, and 16. And that's a stretch where he had 22 threes in a 4-game stretch. And if this is a cold streak, let's see him come out against the Memphis Grizzlies on Saturday night. Hey, I got shut down after going for 19 or more in 5 straight games, including 4 straight games with 20 or more. So 3 in the season opener, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times he's been held to single digits coming off the bench. First time this year, he's held scoreless. But again, okay, you can check that box on the scout. We shut down Peyton Pritchard. We didn't let him beat us. Oh, there's Sam Hauser, number 30, 6 of 10, 4 of 8 on the three-point line, 3 rebounds. And he was a -7, but 16 points. He was the 4th leading scorer. Derek White had a tough night, 1 for 10, 0 for 8. But big steal late. White, 7 assists, 3 steals. Did Derek White not end up with a block? No, he didn't. His goal is at least 1 block a game. Did not get a block. All right. But 6 points. You walk away from Boston losing on Friday night, and you held a starter in Derek White averaging, just under 20 a game? And you held him in check, and you held Peyton Pritchard in check. But still, they got 3 guys with 20 or more. And Tatum led the way with 34. So, Milwaukee, Doc Rivers got to be sitting on the plane, enjoying a beverage at some point here, thinking, I'm still frustrated. Celtics, first time trailing after 3 quarters in 13 games. Won the 4th quarter, won the game. Either tied or with the lead. A lead 11 times in the previous 12 and tied once. Celtics are now 8-2 with the lineup that they threw out there Friday night against Milwaukee. The starting lineup from opening night, 8-2 with Horford at the center position up front instead of KP. I really would like to see KP back in the lineup on Saturday. Again, never knowing completely. Joe Mazzulla, we trust. Put it on a T-shirt. #. Maybe KP's out again. The stretch that's coming up, where you play just 2 games in 11 days, that benefits the Celtics. I'm going to say that. I said that at the All-Star break for the Red Sox in July. Egg on my face. The All-Star break did not benefit the Red Sox. Giannis, 30-plus. Where was Giannis on the boards? He ended up with another 30-point triple-double. I think it's 12th of the season. Yeah, number 12. Celtics have now won 7 in a row at home, 10-2 at home. Keep winning at home. That's all you have to do. What did the Celtics shoot overall from the field? 46%. Bucks, again, a team that keeps teams under 50%. They run that streak going forward. Do want to do this. Locked on. They want me to get out in a certain amount of time. We're approaching that point where we've got to wrap things up here. Smiley Jogger. Brad Stevens hit grand slams on this roster. Even the Stay Ready group contributes when they get chances. Yeah, and it's been a main focus for us, Smiley Jogger. Your name's called, get in there. Get the job done. And they are. And it's part of development. It's the organization. Be ready to go. And it's working. But sooner or later, some of these guys, I'll keep saying it, they're going to want to be paid. And you can't pay everybody max money. Mike, I'm going to let you have the final thought. Living in New York, I had the pleasure of listening to Mike Breen and Walt Clyde Frazier for every Knicks game. Great to hear their insight on the Celtics competition. Absolutely. Appreciate that, Mike. New Yorker. Native New Yorker. Mike, confirm if you're a native New Yorker as well. Native New Yorkers excited about a Celtics win on a Friday night. I don't apologize for it, nor should you or anybody else. Celtics pick up the win. What's on tap? Going to get to this quickly. Grizzlies in town Saturday. Marcus Smart, questionable right ankle sprain. Would like to see Marcus Smart play against his former team. And I saw somebody today, I'll have it tomorrow, but, Marcus Smart comes back to Boston. And Marcus Smart, key contributor to the Celtics during his tenure in Boston, but also tremendous contributor to the Boston area community as well. So a tip of the cap to the former Celtic. Hope he's in the lineup. Rookie Zach Edey's out. G.G. Jackson out for Memphis as well, and so is Luke Kennard. He's out with an illness. Memphis, a team that shares the basketball. That's why I love the Celtics. They share the basketball. They've got high assist numbers for the season. They share the ball. They're 15-8 right now. I mentioned number 4 in the West. They've won 7 of 8, lost to Dallas just a few days ago on December 3rd. Saturday, again, concluding a stretch of playing 5 games in 7 days and 6 games in 9 days for the Celtics after Saturday's game against the Grizzlies. Celtics 2 games over the next 11 days. Those added to the schedule with Detroit and Washington. But then in January, look this up, early January 4-game trip, Minnesota, Houston, OKC, Denver. Boy, am I looking ahead to the next month and the new year. But that's a meat grinder. Even right now, the way the Celtics are, 2-2 on that trip, I'd take it. Later in January, at Golden State, so you're out in San Francisco. Then you go to LA, face the Clippers and Lakers, then you go to Dallas against the Mavericks. That's another tough one. January is going to be a rough month for the Celtics. I'm not saying they're going to be 500 in the month of January, but there's certainly some tests on that schedule. And we touched on the Western Conference. That's where the competition is. Right now, you're expecting the Celtics, and it doesn't matter what we think or expect. The Celtics believe and expect they're getting back to the NBA Finals. Their biggest challenge could come in the NBA Finals. We'll have to see. Hey, your favorite podcast, now a newsletter. We introduced the Locked On Celtics Daily Newsletter, one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now, LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com, and start your day with all the new free Locked On Celtics information with the Locked On Celtics newsletter. Email today from Locked On and getting some messages and stuff and saying, hey, be consistent during the holidays. The numbers may drop off. I think tonight we're showing right now, you and me all together, collective, numbers aren't going to fall off. We'll be with you tomorrow night. Looking forward to it. We can talk about a win. We can talk about a loss. We're here with you, Locked On Celtics Postcast, within minutes of each Celtics game throughout the regular season and, into June likely. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics with John Corrales and Locked On Celtics Postcast, your first listen every day. Thank our sponsors, Robinhood and FanDuel. Great contributions on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Again, subscribe to the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Follow me on the X at Lennox on Hoops as well. We can keep the conversation going there. But on a Friday night with the Celtics winning, as many folks coming here as they did, I applaud you and I appreciate the contributions, and I appreciate the fact that we're getting to know each other after each Celtics game as well. Locked On Sports Boston, number one place to hang out. You're showing that immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, Locked On Celtics. Postcast, the Celtics, Bruins, Boston College, Patriots, and Red Sox. Your Boston teams, Locked On Sports, your team, your Boston teams every day.